In a previous video, we saw that we are able just to work with can see and can edit clauses as well for columns. This is what at the end was building out then this data situation for Mr. Wilcox here. The second thing I want to show you here is that once I change the car type and car information, which at the end means that a new car gets provided to that specific person, the information of the old car gets inserted in that specific field. So for example, let's just assign to Mr. Adcox here, instead of this, a Ford. And doing so, I can then as well, for example, enter here another model. But what you can see here is that here the old car information gets inserted. And it looks like that from limited lists, the real values get set as abbreviations to the front of the string and more or less than the detailed information at the end of the string. Both it's possible and it leads to something new in the identity manager. Let me show you that in Designer again. If you look at custom property 4, which is the field we are talking about in Designer, then we see here a script that looks a little complicated, but it is not that complicated than it might look like. Get it displayed, here we are. And if we look at that, the first line we can directly skip out of our mind what the line is doing. It is just reacting on changed fields, custom properties 2 and 3, and it as well it works as well only on loaded objects. This is not important here. We are just talking about at which time the field information gets filled. But the interesting information, this is here. The string gets built out of 4 parameters, and we see the typical parameters old value of a specific thing. But new is as well that we have now as well old display values. Remember, on a limited list, there's then something different in the column, somewhere in the database, and there exists somewhere a display value for that value which is stored in the database. And we used in the past always the DS specific suffix just to get the display value of a limited list, which was possible before. But what is now possible, and this is what you can see here, it is possible to get as well the old display value of the old configured value of a limited list. Here we are. And as you can see, you need the suffix do for that. And for the people who don't know or cannot remember which character comes at front, both it's possible. You can write do or od. Both will give you the display value of the old configured value of a specific database field.